Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a coach and a channel, and welcome back to my series called Guided and Grounded. This is a weekly series where I invite forward the spirit guides to share a message with us, and then from there, guide us through an experience of that very message, a way to observe how it's playing out in your life, in your body, in your energy field, and then from there, release it and shift it and transcend it in some way. So this is really a combination of receiving information and doing the energy healing around it in order to shift your experience of it, shift your vibration, and shift your reality as a result. And the way this works is I close my eyes, I tune in with what they want to share with you today, and the message tends to evolve slowly and gradually on itself. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to see what they want you to know today. Give me a second. They're immediately showing me this image of this gurgling stream. It's peaceful, it's quiet, and the water is just running through this streams over and around rocks, but they're really zoning in on the energy of the water where it's like alive and it's vibrant and there's like energy flowing and there's like an electricity there, a vibration there. It's yes, it's still and it's quiet and it's relaxing, but it's full of energy. And they're just comparing it to the energy running through your veins, where blood flows through your veins, but it's filled with this oxygenated blood that travels to every area of your body and fuels it with what it needs to to run and to operate at full potential and to um, propel you through life so that you have all of this energy and sustenance to do all of the things that you want to do in a day. And how you go to bed at night and the body kind of slows down and shuts and your brain shuts down for the evening, but the blood never stops running. It keeps pumping because that's its job and it takes it very seriously and you need it in order to survive. And it's this symbiotic relationship between your need for this oxygenated blood and the role that it plays for you, that there's like a wisdom there, a desire there to fulfill that role. That it's not just your mind and your idea of your sense of self that wants to exist and survive, but also the energy and the essence of you itself, that there's a desire there to have this experience of you. And the two of you work together to ensure that that's the case and that that's fulfilled. And now they want you to bring awareness to another part of you that doesn't always feel that desire as strongly, that sometimes feels like it just wants to give up, that it doesn't really want to be here anymore, that it doesn't want to try as hard, to work as hard, doesn't have as much motivation to get up and go, and that sometimes feels like things would be easier if you could just stop, if you didn't have to put in the effort anymore, and questions whether or not you should. And notice how the energy that's pumped through your body from the very cells that make up who you are fueling both of these parts of you. The blood is flowing to every aspect of your physical body, but the energy is also fueling your consciousness, your awareness of your sense of self. And this consciousness is oftentimes divided. There are many different parts of you pulling you in different directions. And the energy that's flowing through you is fueling both of these parts, these competing parts. They're both getting the same amount. Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure. They're both getting the same intention of the flow of energy, where you can't, hold on. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. The energy that's flowing through your body is fueling both halves. The part of you that wants to keep going, that feels excited to keep going, and that has this drive to survive and to persevere, and this other part of you that's lacking that and that doesn't want to keep going and that just wants to give up and wants to feel like you're not needed here anymore. And what's the point here that you're trying to make? The point that they're trying to make is to just observe that there's an intention here for both of these things, that you're divided in where your energy is being pulled. And this is creating a fissure in the flow of your own energy. And they're kind of bringing me back to this image of this gurgling stream. And sometimes a stream is not flowing with as much enthusiasm. Maybe it's dried up in an off season, in a dry season, in the summer season, when there's not as much rain and you don't see as much water flowing through as quickly and as effortlessly, and there's more of just like a trickle, and it just feels dry and barren. And they're saying that what? The flow of energy is disrupted by this divide in your own desire for what's needed or wanted. Part of you wants that flow of energy, and part of you resists it and sort of resents it. And this is creating like a pendulum in your energy, where some days you feel energized and some days you feel really tired and run down. But it's not necessarily a byproduct of your output. It's a byproduct of the desire inside of you that's dictating the flow of energy. You dictate how you feel. Oftentimes, we perceive that it's the outside world that fatigues us, that drains us, that runs us down, but it's how we show up in our lives that comes from what we desire most, whether that be to feel like we're being productive, to feel like we're trying to make up for past mistakes, whatever belief systems we're holding that are dictating how our energy is managed and where we're giving ourselves permission to slow down and where we're not. And when your own consciousness is divided in terms of what it wants, you're going to feel this flip-flop in energy, where some days it's going to be invigorating and some days it's going to be draining. And that's going to depend on which part of your deeper desire is coming through the loudest on that day or in that moment. And they just wanted to bring to your awareness that these two parts of you exist, and that depending on which part is running the show in that moment or on that day, that's going to determine the flow of energy. Some days it's going to be up and some days it's going to be down. But it's coming from a deeper desire to have that experience. And that's what they want to highlight for you. You determine your experience of you. You determine how your energy flows through you. And if you're telling yourself, your energy, your your essence, your being, that you don't want to be here, then the energy that's going to invigorate your cells is going to hold itself back. And you're going to feel fatigued because of that. I just want to like ease you into this next part of the conversation, which is what? They're saying give yourself permission to feel what's here and at the same time recognize that you're the creator of that belief system and experience. Um, if you don't feel like you resonate with what? Your own experience, then it's time to change your perspective that created it. Yeah, this is going to be, I think this is a message of taking radical responsibility, and they're confirming that. Um, okay, sorry. Sometimes when it's noisy outside, it distracts me a little bit. So there's like a truck that was going by. And I'm just going to tune in again. They're saying when you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling isolated and alone, it's really difficult to take the time to ask yourself, why? Why am I letting this experience dictate how I feel inside of who I am? Because the experience of that moment was chosen in order to, in order to what? Dictate, in order to what? Feel the resonance within it. Can you explain that a little bit more? These swings in your emotional experience happen in order for you to see the contrast within them. There's a desire inside of a deeper, more unconscious part of you that's wanting to experience this contrast in these two different states in order to recognize the availability of what's inside of them, that you can have both. And it's up to you to determine which one it is that you're wanting to experience on that day or at that time. And depending on the experience that you choose, that is the outcome that you're going to witness unfolding around you and inside of you. And it's up to you to consciously choose which one it is that you're desiring to have. And that might not always feel like that's true. It doesn't always feel like you have that much power to make that choice because you're used to seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances. And they want to empower you today. They want to give you an opportunity to take your power back and see firsthand where you're being offered more opportunity and more choice than you've been witness to prior. And that there is space for you to swing the other way in any given moment. You just have to be able to recognize where you're not ready to, where you are dictating that your flow of energy travel to, and how to um, how to re-navigate it back. And there's actually great power here that you are being offered, being offered the opportunity to witness your own manifestation potential, that you have been asking for a different set of circumstances, hoping to manifest a different set of circumstances so you can feel differently inside of you and no longer have as low lows as you may have been experiencing, or as high highs, so that things can be a little bit more even keel and you're not swinging back and forth quite as dramatically. And they want to show you that your manifestation potential and power starts inside of you first. You have to be able to switch the flow of energy within you in order to have a different experience through you and manifest a different potential outcome on the other side of it. But it starts with a choice. What is my current experience? How am I dictating my flow of energy right now? And what can I choose to feel differently in order to flip it? And once you begin to see that the choice is there, and once you begin to practice and become a master at flipping your own frequency, you will have um, a you will fortify your own belief system in your own divine potential and manifestation potential, and have a first account witness of just how powerful you are, just how capable you are, and also just how much control you really have on your circumstances. And the first step for you is recognizing that the power is with you. And they want to acknowledge that this is a message that is not going to be easy to hear if you've been struggling to recognize that y that the potential lies with you. If you've been downplaying your own role in your own existence, this is going to feel challenging to hear. There's going to be friction inside of this exercise, and that is, they're saying that that is just um, a reflection of what you're choosing to feel inside of you, which is um, less than the greatness that is there. Anything else you'd like them to know about this? They're saying feel what's here and choose to allow it to be or experience. And that choice will dictate how you want to hold space for it. Do you want to accept it, or are you ready to feel this space provided, the space that's calling to you for something new. And the first step is acknowledging that the desire is there. And yeah, sometimes you may not have the desire for something different. And whatever it is that you're experiencing, you're gonna feel resistant to shifting it. And they're saying that that's a part of life. That is a part of the human experience. That we have been so conditioned to enjoy our own suffering. And that is not a bad thing. It's not something to be upset or ashamed about or judgmental of. It's just something to acknowledge exists inside of you. And that is also very powerful because you're acknowledging that you're fulfilling your deepest desire. Therefore, whatever experience you're having is a result of the desire to have it. And in that respect, you are gratifying the very desire, the very existence that you are wanting in that moment, that you are always giving yourself what's wanted and what's needed. And so is the universe, so is the world. It's just up to you to see it that way and shift your belief system or your experience through the acknowledgement that another option is available and the desire to choose it instead. Okay. Do you want to take them through an experience at this time? Okay. This is the part of the guided and grounded experience where there's going to be a little bit of energy work here. So if this message resonates with you and you'd like to explore it further, and you'd like to have an example of how this is playing out inside of you and what it actually looks and feels like to shift it, stick around. Come back to this video if you're distracted so that you can really take the time to sink into this. And they're saying that giving it the time and attention that is needed is going to be worth it so that you can really understand what it is that they're trying to convey here and learn how to do it for yourself. Because feeling dependent on other people to help you has also been weighing on you, and you would like to feel a sense of independence, and this is how. Okay, they just want you to get quiet. So find a comfortable, quiet space. And they're saying you can do this seated, lying down, just get really comfortable, whatever that looks and feels like for you. And they just want you can put your hands on your heart if it feels helpful to do that, but they're just wanting you to focus on your heart center. So the heaviness in your life that you're currently feeling the weight of, you're feeling it in your heart, in your chest. There's like a heaviness here. And they want you to tune into it. They want you to just acknowledge that it exists, focus on it, and feel it. Yes, that is here. They're saying, yes, acknowledge that exists and it's here. And just sit with it. Be allowing of it rather than getting annoyed that it's there, angry that it's there, frustrated that's there. Just hold a loving, compassionate, neutral space for it to exist. You're just the container that it's existing inside of. It doesn't mean anything. It's just here. It's just a feeling that exists. And it can exist, they're saying it can exist without your desire for it to or permission for it to. Is that true? Yeah. They're saying sometimes it's going to come in and when it's not wanted, when it's not expected, when it's not mm, when it's not there's is that true? When it's not needed? When it's not felt like it's needed, but they want you to allow it to be here because it's here to show you that a part of you is calling it in. And that part of you wants this experience, even if a different part of you doesn't. And they want you to notice how your energy shifts. The flow of energy shifts as soon as you're allowing of it. As soon as you give this sensation permission to exist, just for a moment, just taking a deep breath and surrendering that it's here. Notice that the exhaustion of trying to hold it at bay lifts ever so slightly. It feels heavy, but there's so much energy required to keep it away. And sometimes it's energizing to just let it be here. And that is because you are giving yourself permission to be. And when you give yourself permission to have the experience that a part of you is wanting, you're allowing your energy to flow there, where before you were shutting it off, closing it down, damming it up. And so there's just this flow of energy that's desiring to come through. And they're saying there's no problem that has to be solved. There's nothing that you have to change in your life in order to fix, to get this energy to go away. All that's needed is the patience to let it be here for a second. And what could it be like to live inside of an existence where both parts of you are allowed to exist, knowing that it won't always be that way. But for now, this is where you are and this is what's needed. And in time, as this energy is allowed to flow, as this heaviness is allowed to be here, as this other part of you that's calling it in is recognized and acknowledged that it actually exists and it's allowed to exist, that the need for it to speak up and feel as depleted in doing so will fade and will dissipate. And you won't have this swing anymore of these two experiences of highs and lows. And this even keel energy that you've been looking for will come through because all you're going to be doing is allowing your energy to flow where it's desiring to go rather than turning on the faucet all the way and then shutting it off all the way. And then very slowly in time, y- you will have the opportunity to work through this further because they're saying there's layers to this, but they're just trying to demonstrate the very first step, which is acknowledgement and allowing so that you don't have this swing that's quite as extreme that you've been asking for understanding about and knowledge about how to work through. And in time, the next steps will present themselves to you if you're willing to take action in a way that will be allowing of this energy to exist rather than trying to push it away so that it forever leaves you alone. And also noticing how when you allow it for just a moment, it dissipates slightly. Whereas when you try to push it away and get rid of it comes back really hard and strong and it kind of exacerbates this giant swing. And so it's just a simple surrender and allowing that dissipates the energy from this swing so that things kind of slow down, calm down, and the stream is allowed to gurgle and bubble, but it never kind of comes down in a giant cascade. It also never completely dries up either. There's always this constant flow of energy. And within this flow of energy, the universe will guide you on where it's taking you. If you can be trusting that you will find the answers you're looking for inside of it. They're saying inside of you, but ultimately the direction that's calling to you is inside. Anything else you'd like them to know about this? Yeah, they're saying patience. What you're asking for is not an overnight thing. What you're asking for is a change in belief system that's going to dictate your entire reality. And that is something that is going to require time, commitment, patience, and trust, and a lot of compassion. And they're here to support you inside of that journey if you're willing to give them an opportunity to lead you there, to lead you here, is what they're saying. Um, all the answers, everything you're looking for, it's here. And you have to be willing to sit with the energy to show it what it's desiring for you to feel and know, and potentially in time mistrust, where right now you're taking it at for gospel. In time, mistrust will form with the current belief system and give you room to change it and adopt a new one. Okay. Um, thank you guys. That's a beautiful message. They're encouraging me to share at this time that I'm an option. That is what I do. I I host one-on-one sessions with clients in a one-on-one capacity, um, either in just a one-off 90-minute session or in a longer 3-month container. And I'm also going to be hosting some group live events in the months to come, definitely in 2026. And so if working through this and becoming more knowledgeable about what's required of you to shift this experience of this pendulum swing and feel a little bit more levity and energy more often in your life, reach out to me and we can talk about what that work could look like for you, or I can point you in a direction that feels like it resonates for you, that feels really good for you. So I'm someone here that can help, and that is offering to help. And if your energy has led you here, maybe take advantage of that. It doesn't have to be with me, but maybe I can be of support in some way by pointing you in the right direction. But you have to be willing to reach out and ask for help, is what they're saying. You're asking them, and they're showing you one option, which is which requires that you um, trust in the wisdom that you're feeling. So if something is calling to you, trust it and inquire about it. And if it doesn't feel like the right time, trust that too. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts about this guided and grounded experience today. Feel free to leave a comment below this video or reach out to me privately on Instagram or TikTok. You can also send me a message on my website, amandalaurenblau.com. I'm at Amanda Lauren Blau on all social media platforms, and I'm always here to support. Just have to let me know how I can help. I hope you enjoyed this guided and grounded episode today. Take your time with this message if this resonated for you. Let it sit, let it simmer, come back to it if needed. And please like and subscribe if you would like more of these. I'll see you next week in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.